So Mike sends a text yesterday.
Tyvis sent the first one.
Oh, Tyvis, that's true. Tyvis sent the first one saying, why don't the Niners get criticized for the Trey Lance deal like the Browns do for Deshaun Watson? And first of all, it's just a bad comparison. The Browns are only criticized for the Watson trade because of the off the field. If it wasn't for the off the field, there'd be zero criticism of Watson.
Yes.
Of the trade itself. Zero. Number two, there's plenty of criticism for the Trey Lance trade. They're getting killed. We're just not talking about it here in Cleveland because why the hell would we care about the backup quarterback on the 49ers? I'm sure out on the West Coast, they don't have cool sports talk like we do here in Cleveland and on the East Coast. But I'm sure they're talking about that plenty, the fact that they traded 3 first-round picks. But another thing is, the Niners are winners and the Browns are losers.
First of all, they really traded 2. They didn't trade 3. Like, they swapped 12 for 3.
That's a good point. Yeah.
So it's 2 first-round picks.
Right,
it's not 3. So right there, it's a bad comparison.
Right.
I agree with everything else you said. It's the off-field stuff. But here's another interesting component of this.
Yeah.
There were 3 other teams willing to make the same deal the Browns made with Houston. Is there anyone else in the league that would have traded 2 first-round picks to move up to 3 to take Trey Lance?
I don't think so.
I don't think so. And for that, San Francisco deserves to get crushed.
They do, but because they keep winning anyway.
That's it. Their roster,
Yeah.
2 through 53, is the best in the NFL.
No doubt.
They are one of the best-run organizations in
Right.
football. They have unbelievable talent on both sides of the ball, and they've been able to win in spite of a quarterback at a fairly high level. Not a
They
Super
got to
Bowl.
the NFC Championship game last
Yes.
year with a guy who was drafted in the 7th round.
And
as
if
a
that
rookie.
and that is what will really save them on this. If Purdy develops and is okay, that's what's going to bail them out because that is a disaster.
I compare this to the Cavs, right? He's like, what are you talking about? I compare this to the Cavs. When the Cavs drafted Kyrie, they hit, right?
Yeah.
They got all these first-round picks, right? They missed on Deion Waiters, right? They hit on Tristan Thompson, who turned out to be a good player. Then they got Anthony Bennett.
Ooh.
Anthony Bennett, like the Cavs still won a championship despite the biggest whiff in the history of the draft and Anthony Bennett. They were like, okay, we're cool. Then they got Andrew Wiggins, right?
Yeah.
And then they traded him for Kevin Love, and they still won.
Is it today the anniversary of that? The Kevin Love trade?
Is it?
Is it?
No?
Today's the anniversary of Andrew Luck retiring 4 years ago.
Look it up. See if when Kevin Love was traded to the Cavs. I feel like today is the anniversary.
Because
you missed a key component of that championship.
Well, go ahead.
Somebody came back.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. There was a whole like we acted like that was that wasn't the catalyst. That's just a little bit, right?
But the point is, and you're right,
they missed terribly.
They missed terribly. What the Niners did is even worse because not only did they miss, but they traded up for that miss.
Right.
But they've overcome it essentially.
Yeah.
And
because they have so much talent.
And it just goes to show you, like, you can be bad. You can have a hit or miss some places, but if you can develop guys, it makes it's like makeup. It covers up a lot of blemishes if you can develop guys.
What'd you say, Mike? I didn't hear you.
Yesterday was the anniversary.
I was close.
He was close.
Very close.
My anniversary is the Kevin Love anniversary.
But that's crazy.
Look at that. We got that in common.
Love is in the air.
Oh, I see what you did there.
Yeah.
But
we need to get Wi-Fi back because Mike's driving me crazy back here.
That was funny. Hater.
The interesting part about that, and I don't want to spend a ton of time on the Trey Lance trade, but something that it kind of struck me this morning when I was driving in is like, I don't talk to John Lynch. I talked to him once at the NFL owners meetings.
Yeah.
This is just me speculating. I think they looked at that and thought, this is our last chance. We don't like Jimmy G. Yeah. We're at 12. We can't get one of the top guys, and we're really good.
Yeah.
This is our last chance to try and get a franchise guy.
Right.
Let's push all in and do whatever we have to do it. And they did it.
Right.
Credit to them for having the courage to do it, having the guts to push in. They just picked the wrong guy. Yeah. Although I don't know if they picked Justin Fields, would they be that much better off? I don't know.
In fairness, though, to Trey Lance, he's barely
He hadn't had much of a chance.
You know he was in the same recruiting class as DTR?
Oh, really? Wow.
They were in the same high school recruiting class. DTR, since entering college, has thrown, I saw the stat yesterday, 1,441 passes in real games.
Yeah.
Trey Lance has thrown 387.
Now, if I'm a Tampa or New Orleans or one of these teams.
Tennessee,
I would absolutely.
No, but Tennessee drafted Will Levis, man.
Okay.
Yeah, whatever.
They did. I was thinking You're right. They did.
Yeah.
Tampa would be perfect.
Yeah, 'cause they got nobody with potential
I'm
there.
calling San Francisco and saying, I'll give you a fifth. I'll give you a fourth, whatever.
Right.
You're buying the guy for pennies on the dollar.
Yeah.
I think I said that on the show months ago. I don't know if we have enough data to say that he's a bust. It hasn't gone well.
No.
But we don't have enough data to
No.
say that he's a bust.
But they must really believe in Brock Purdy.
Yeah.
They must think they really have a find with him in the 7th round. As unlikely as that is, because everybody brings up Brady, but that's the exception, not the rule.
But the guy, one of the guys that I would trust the most in the NFL to find a quarterback and say that's the guy is Kyle Shanahan. If Kyle Shanahan believes in you,
yeah.
okay.
What's amazing
I know
is
Shanahan's botched some quarterback situations in the past. Like, he has not done a phenomenal. His track record.
it is true. Like they seem to be such a smart organization at every other position, and yet they haven't gotten it right there. But maybe they finally have with Purdy. I don't know. I thought Purdy played really well. He's certainly got to prove it for another year.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, I mean, on that team, like that's the one team you feel like if Purdy can get to like the top of tier 3, be the somewhere between 12 and 15, that they could win with.
Well, that's who
that
they
kind of
had in
quarterback.
Jimmy G. That's what they had.
Well, I don't even think he was that high for me.
I think
he was like.
I think he was tier 3.
So now I think the 49ers do get some sort of criticism because
they get plenty,
They've been a great team on paper and on defense and offense since 18. But the thing that has been holding them back was the fact they go against the Chiefs. They were winning that football game. They had Jimmy G at quarterback, right?
Yeah.
Now you go in, you have Brock Purdy. He gets hurt. The guys behind him weren't talking about much. So you got this roster, and this is why people don't say anything about the Browns. They just say something about Deshaun Watson because of the allegations. Now, when you look at it, everybody from a football standpoint understands it. The Browns and the 49ers were in the same boat. Now, the 49ers have a better roster or had a better roster from top to bottom. Browns are right there when you look at roster. But if the quarterbacks play to their potential, now you got the Browns who look better than the 49ers if the quarterback returns to who they are.
Sure, absolutely. I still think, I agree with Jason. I think, not including quarterback, the Niners are definitely the best talent in the league. But the Browns are close enough that if Watson plays his potential, they're a better roster overall because Brock Purdy's upside, I don't think, is anywhere close to Deshaun Watson.
Do you think that you guys think that whatever neck and neck, I guess, you think they're better roster than the Eagles?
The Niners?
The Niners?
I do.
Yeah, I do too. I think the Niners top to bottom. I think quarterback's a separator with those teams. Jalen Hurts obviously is better than anything San Francisco has.
I mean, it's close though because Philadelphia is very talented also.
Oh,
Do you guys remember who you picked when they played in the NFC Championship last year?
No.
Off the top of your head, do you remember who you picked in that
I think
game?
I picked the Eagles, but I'm not sure.
I don't think I made a pick. I don't think I was here that day.
I think I picked the Eagles
Do you remember?
because I said they was playing at home.
I think you guys picked I picked the Niners, and I remember, and I could be wrong, but I think I remember being like, I'm going against you guys. And the reason you guys picked Philly was they were home. And I was like, I just trust the Niners defense and the way they're moving the ball. But those two rosters are very, very
Philly.
close.
I had Philly.
You had Philly.
That was the hardest game to pick.
But, because of what happened in that game, they've gone back to the old rule where you can have an emergency quarterback. It used to be that way. I don't know why they got rid of that. So but the emergency quarterback's got to be on the 53-man roster.
So that means the Browns are keeping 3 quarterbacks.
Oh,
They
for
will
sure
keep 3
keeping
quarterbacks,
Yeah.
Yeah. So, but you only have to have 2 active on game day.
Right.
But the third quarterback can play if the first 2 quarterbacks both get hurt.
Hey, man, we got the best third quarterback in the game, D.T. Aura. It's the third string, tear the tape off, red button, special tag if somebody get hurt. I'm confident if both guys get in.
Yeah.
One other thing where, as we're talking about Trey Lance, the Niners, where I think they deserve a little bit of credit, is identify a mistake and move on from it rather than trying to keep over. And we've talked about that.
To the point, a lot of
players
teams
here.
would have said
He has to play.
even the way Purdy played, as well as Purdy played, would have
invested
said
too
we're
much capital.
going to go back to Lance.
Yep.
And Shanahan from the beginning of this offseason was like, Purdy's the guy. If he's healthy, he's our guy.
Yeah.
And he's their guy.
Yeah. And so they missed badly, it looks like, on the pick, but to have the courage to move on as quickly as they did, partly because they obviously believe in Brock Purdy.
Yeah.
But to identify the mistake and say, nope, we're not going there. We're going to cut our losses and go here. that takes courage, man. Like
It does.
they've had guts twice now.
Yeah.
We'll see if it ultimately
Before
works
we
for
move
them.
on,
By the way,